Hello there ladies and gents, and as expected, we are back with yet another The Owl House video. It's an episode that certain people have been looking forward to for quite some time. And that is finally about the history of King and his origin story. And is he the king of demons? Is he the king of anything at all? What the heck even is he, and how did Ida first meet with him? I will do my best to try and answer all of those questions within this very analysis. So without further ado, let's roll that introduction. Coming straight from the beginning, we're shown a small Edelin running through one of the Boiling Isles lost and ancient islands as the boiling rainstorm begins to pour down. And some notes to take from her previous makeup was how she too used to wear a cape-like attire, much like she gifted to Luce towards the end of season 1. She also seems to only have small streaks of grayed hair, possibly due to her curse being nowhere near as bad as it becomes just years later. Within the next scene, we're then switched back over to today's events, with Luce studying up on potentially new glyphs to learn different forms of magic, as well as perfecting the newly discovered method and arranging the glyph symbols in a specific order so that they can create a particular spell. One of them being Luce figuring out how to temporarily become invisible as long as you hold your breath for long enough periods of time, a method that she discovers on her own after doing some research from Lilith's discoveries. Lilith is also seen attempting to learn the same things, as well as still having a healthy and somewhat wholesome friendship with Hooty. Eventually, King does his usual talk about how he used to be the all-powerful demon king and then shrunk down to a mere baby-sized creature, and even mentions once more about the fact that his crown was stolen from him, only he wasn't just talking about the old crown that we saw from the first episode. He's talking about an actual crown, apparently. Only this time, given how Lilith and Hooty both join in on declining to play into his fantasy, he is soon provoked to prove his story by leading them to his supposed kingdom. Oh yeah, and Hooty apparently can friggin' disconnect himself from the literal Owl House. Yeah, he comes along with them to the mysterious journey as well. That freak of nature. Something that surprisingly turned out to be an actual ancient temple in ruins, and even with Lilith being the dedicated, well-informed historic she is, she too can be seen baffled by the unknown. There was even a language that Lilith described as something being predated before any time she has studied throughout her years of research. Ida shortly finds out about their going away adventure and decides to come along right behind them, probably in order to prevent King from discovering the sad truth behind his origin. They continue to venture their way inside of the castle and soon unveil more than just mere illustrations, but instead something else well and alive to this very day. Other beings that seemingly appear to be the same creature are shown in tomb-like caskets and looks to have its very imagery depicted throughout the castle, with rocks being piled together. Just as the gang is about to head out of the temple, they're shortly faced off against the very same being that had been tracking them since their arrival. Thankfully, however, Ida barges in with her explosive potion magic in order to save them after flying to the island with a flying bathtub. I kid you not. I dare not even ask questions anymore at this point. But this is the same boat-looking mechanism we witnessed from the season's premiere, so maybe we'll have answers in the future as to when that ever came about to be. I don't know. Anyways, Ida handles the creature and distracts it for long enough for her and the rest to escape in time, given how a certain barrier prevents it from leaving the very building, meaning that its very existence possibly was to guard and protect whatever was inside of that very same location and nothing more. And later within the episode, it seems to no longer have the ability to awaken from consciousness unless it's within the temple. King soon is told by Ida his true origin and how he was simply found from inside of the temple at a young age and was told about the wonders of conquering and being named king, making him up to actually believe that he was truly the king of demons. Of course, knowing the cruel reality behind his past, this saddens King and gets him to question his very own self. Also, during this flashback, the next code can be seen on the right hand side placed on a box reading the word "and", at least according to research, because once again, I could barely see the code. The rest of the episode is about them finding out what other mysteries may lie from inside of the temple, especially at the very top of it. And what they discover is King's birthplace and where he originally cracked from his egg, soon being accompanied by the very same creature from before. Turns out the creature both years ago and today was only trying to protect King from intruders kidnapping or harming him in any way. But as for King's actual parents, I truly believe that they had some correlation to the Boiling Isles giants from the past. For all we know, these could have been the original conquerors of this world, but one day during a heavy battle that was pursuing, King's parents, many of the other guards, and the giants of the Boiling Isles all perished. And I bet just one of them was the owner of the palisman known as Yi, also known as the Bat Queen. And this would all make sense as to why Lilith of all characters hasn't even heard of the ruins, because it wouldn't exactly be history that Emperor Belos would want any of his subjects to uncover. We're talking about the same dude that seemingly stripped away quite a bit of information on the marvels of mixing magic, yet using it for his very own self. King also mentions that within his memories, he recalls a deep roar in the background saying the word sun in a different language, just as he's being taken down to safety. The most ironic thing about this entire experience is that King could have more than likely have been the son of an actual king that once had an army. Clearly his very own DNA allowed secret passages to open, and the creature from before only listened to his commands. It seems as if King's past will be something to look forward to even further down the line, and I think it'll be for good reason. And well, this is the end of this analysis. The next one apparently will be about Ida having a family member over to visit the owl house, so stay tuned for that. This has once again been the next big thing, and I await to find more mysteries. See you in the next one. Peace!